about how I was able to retire by the time I was 31. But this video could also be called How You Can Retire in the Next 2 Years. All right? So if you're looking at quitting your 9-to-5 or quitting your corporate job or actually becoming a successful money-making stay-at-home mom, this video is going to be exactly how I did 14 deals in my first 9 months as a real estate investor and how you can too. All right, let's get to it. First, you got to know that I was raised by real estate investors. All right, my mom has been buying houses the old, slow, boring way since before I was born. And she would go to auctions or she would just talk to people in the community and she would say, hey, if y'all ever thinking about selling, let me know. And then she would save up a bunch of money, buy that house. She would put a renter in it. She'd put a tenant in it. And then she would basically hope and pray that she got her money back eventually. So I thought you needed money to buy houses. I thought you needed, well, I guess just money. Because that's all my mom would do. She'd just save up a bunch of money, and whatever she could buy, she would. My mom had no strategy. She had no plan. She was just kind of winging it, just throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what would stick. I tried it, all right? I will tell you that I spent my entire life savings at an auction one summer. July of 2013, I went to an auction, and I'd been going to auctions because I'd been flipping furniture on Craigslist. I'd been flipping dump trucks, but I never really bought real estate until the summer of 2013. And I bought a house, spent my entire life savings on it. This house didn't have a shower. It just had an old clawfoot tub when I bought it. Yeah. Real great with. So I paid about $30,000 for this house, and then I put about $5,000 into flipping the bathroom, and then I did what my mom did, and I just put a renter in the house for $800 a month. Do you know how long it takes to get $35,000 back in your pocket when you're getting $800 a month? It takes for flipping ever, okay? But not only did I blow through my life savings, I also spent my brother's life savings because I found another house just down the street from the first house, and we bought it for $20,000. We spent the next 18 months working our 9-to-5 jobs. My brother and I both worked at my mom's company. She's got 4 dump truck companies, so I was working 4 jobs when I started investing in real estate. And then I was working real estate as my 5th job on my off time. Okay? So we bought one house, put a renter in it. We bought the other house about the same time, but this other house needed everything done to it. It needed electrical, plumbing, a foundation. This thing was falling down the mountainside. I mean, when I tell you that I started without a clue what I was doing, I really mean I bought anything and everything, any condition, any price. I bought whatever I could afford. The best thing that ever happened to me was in the fall of 2013, I was broke. I literally went broke trying to get rich in real estate. But Whitney, I thought this was a video about how you retired, not a sad, sappy story about how you wasted your life savings. So, also, in the fall of 2013, I joined the Real Estate Investors Association in Knoxville. And I went to a meeting at a Holiday Inn off Cedar Bluff. And the president of the RIA, Victor Jernigan, said they're going to have a special presentation about lease options, and he wanted me to be there. And I said, look, dude, it's $75. I just don't have $75. I said, besides that, I'm a real estate agent. I'm an auctioneer, I'm a general contractor, and I'm already a real estate investor. I don't need to know anything else about real estate. At this point of the story, I was 28 years old, so clearly I had everything figured out, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So, Victor told me, he said, Whitney, if you'll pay the $75 and come to this meeting, if you do not learn anything, he said, I'll give you your money back. And I said, all right, old man, that's no problem. I can totally handle that. I'll go to your little meeting, but I don't need to know anything. So sure enough, I went to the first meeting about lease options, about creative financing with the Real Estate Investors Association. And within 15 minutes, the guy that was teaching that night, it wasn't even Victor that was teaching that night, but the guy that was teaching that night showed us how to make $100,000 with 4 deals without using his money. And at this point, it hadn't even occurred to me to go to the bank and use my connections or to use my license or to have anybody check my credit. Like, I thought you just needed money to buy houses. And I bought 2 houses with all the money I could find between me and my brother. So when this dude said I could make $100,000 in 4 deals without using my money, y'all, it was like fireworks went off in my head. Like, that was speaking directly to my heart because I didn't have any money. I was broke. I didn't have the $75 to be there that night. But that light bulb went off in my head, and I made a decision while I was there at that class that night that I was going to learn everything there was to know about creative financing. And in the next, by the next year, by November of the next year, 2014, Victor was inviting me to teach the class on creative financing for the Real Estate Investors Association. Because after I got that taste of it that first night at that first meeting at the Real Estate Investors Association, I booked myself a trip to Jacksonville, Florida so that I could find out everything and anything I needed to know. I went to boot camps, I went to seminars, I signed up for mentoring, I had my credit card limits enhanced. I had my credit, like all the credit cards I could find, I put them all into learning about real estate. I put like $15,000 on credit cards that I didn't even know I could apply for. All right. I had no cash, but people were going to give me credit. So I got a mentor with $15,000 on credit cards. 8 weeks after I left my first boot camp, I closed my very first deal and made $15,000, just a little over $15,000. And you got to remember, at the time, I was working 9 to 9. I didn't even have a 9 to 5. I had a 9 to 9. I had from when my eyes opened to when my eyes closed, working for the family business, right? So I made about $500 a week at my mom's office, $2,000 a month. Unless I sold a dump truck, because if I sold a dump truck, I would make $500 on commission for selling a dump truck. So sometimes I would have $2,500 or $3,000 months. Y'all, I made $15,000 in 8 weeks without using my money. Well, technically I gave those people $10. So if you have lunch money, you could do these deals. But I didn't really use any big money. Nobody checked my credit. I never talked to a banker. It was a beautiful situation, and I was helping sellers. So in 8 weeks, I made $15,000. That's almost as much as I made in a whole year working at my mom's company. I mean, I was making like $24,000 a year, and in 2 months, I made $15,000. The fireworks, the hamster in my head, everything was just going 20 miles. 20 miles a minute, 20,000 miles a minute. Like, I was flying through, oh my gosh, this is going to work. I'm going to be able to do this. This is absolutely amazing. And over the next 8 months, 9 months in total, from about February to November of 2014, I made $15,000, $5,000, $8,000, $12,000, $15,000, $18,000, $5,000, $3,000, $10,000. I closed 14 deals in those first 9 months. Once I'd figured out creative financing, once I'd really tapped in to what kind of sellers needed me and wanted to work with me and that I could help. I did all 14 deals either with a lease option or owner financing. At the end of 2014, in December of 2014, after I'd taught the class at the RIA, after I was so excited about everything that had happened, I'd not only paid myself back, but I'd almost 10x'd my investment in myself for my mentoring. All right, remember I put $15,000 into a mentor, into learning, into growing, into doing these creative financing deals. And then I made almost $140,000. I was making $24,000 a year, and I ended up with $136,000 and some change on my tax returns the next year. But I didn't exactly quit my 9 to 5 because I figured maybe that first year was just a fluke. I went from 2 houses to 14 houses in 9 months. And then in the beginning of 2015, I added 19 apartment units to my portfolio. I also bought some land. I bought some tax properties. I bought some more owner financing. I sold some properties. 2015, I was buying and selling. I was flipping deals. Not really flipping the houses, although I did flip a couple houses. But guys, I started realizing that I was making a steady $5,000 to $10,000 a month by the middle of 2015, and I retired at the end of 2015. 2 years after I very first heard about creative financing, I busted through 57 deals in like 2.5 years. But I retired at the end of my 2nd year in real estate. And you can do this too. All right? Even if you're already making $100,000 or $150,000, I was doing this in my spare time. I was doing this nights and weekends. I was doing this from the ballpark. My stepkids were playing baseball and I was doing all this stuff from the ball field. I was in Georgia and the houses were in Tennessee. Like, you can totally do this. You can retire in 2 years just like I did. I don't work at my family company anymore. I quit trucking. I retired on my 31st birthday and I've never looked back. The houses I have, as I'm recording this, I had up to 19 houses at one point, and as I'm recording this, I'm down to 15 houses. By the end of this year, I fully plan on cashing out another couple houses, using that money to pay off some others. By the end of this year, I will have 10 houses free and clear. No banks, no private money partners, no mortgages, no owner financing, nothing. 10 houses in my name by the end of this year. That's just 4 years since I started investing. The money is there, guys. The deals are there. I buy houses as often as I want to. I buy apartments for the same price that I could buy houses for. And then the money from the houses, I get about $10,000 a month. I was making $2,000 a month. My houses pay me about $10,000. My apartments pay me about $10,000. That's $20,000 a month that I was able to start creating in passive income 2 years after I started investing. I was 29 when I started. I was 31 when I retired. And it's all because of real estate investing. You can do this. I'm here to help you. In 2016, I started teaching women how to do what I do. And in 2017, I came out of retirement to help women become successful real estate investors super duper fast. I created a program called First Deal Done Fast. In 2018, we started a group coaching program off of First Deal Done Fast called FDDF Plus. I hold live weekend workshops that are very small. It's a tight-knit group of people that I'm working with because I remember what it was like to go to those boot camps and seminars, and basically they're just cattle calls and pitches to sign you up for a $40,000 program. I don't believe in that. I believe in giving good quality content so that you can go out there and get your deals done. I actually want to help you retire in less time than it took me to retire. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let me know. I've got a webinar that you can sign up so I can fully explain what a lease option is, what owner financing is, what's the deal with creative financing, and how do I actually use cash now to pay off these houses. I got all sorts of goodies. I would love to tell you all about it. Send me a message or drop a comment down below and I'll send you the links so that you can get started to find out how you can retire in just 2 years.